and I am a descendant from the great pioneer, which is the world greatest entertainer, Dougie Fresh. So music been a part of my life since I was born.
Hip hop as would be considered an American cultural, intangible cultural heritage. Some might say Michael Jackson himself would be an intangible cultural heritage.
Yeah.
Exclusive interview.
Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment TV, and I am your New York and Atlanta host, Ms. Goldie. I just want to introduce you to my guy Gleamz over here and Mr. Gregory Kirschenbaum. Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment TV.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, this question is for both of you guys. You can answer it one by one. Gregory, for those who may not know you yet, tell us who you are and what you do in one sentence.
Well, I help heal the world. That's what I do. In one sentence.
we definitely gonna dig deeper into that. So, Gleam, same question for you.
Well, I'm Gleamz, and I basically express myself through my writing, and I deliver music to make people happy. That's what I do.
You know, Gregory over here was a hard act to follow with that one.
He killed it. He killed it. But
I mean, you know, how are you supposed to follow that
he
up?
heals the world. He heals the world. So I guess he's doing major stuff for me.
But
too.
what I can't do
So
is I
that's why
can't rap and I can't write like Gleamz. Let me tell you something. Man is bad.
So we're gonna start with you, Gleamz, first, right? So when did you first realize music was something you wanted to do serious?
I started music at a young age, probably like around 13 is when I actually recorded my first record in the studio. But prior to that, I was young playing baseball, and music was just something that you hear. But I took action on it, just growing up with some friends, and we just decided we're gonna try to put our talents to use and come up with our words. And I am a descendant from the late great pioneer, which is the world greatest entertainer, Dougie Fresh. So music's been a part of my life since I was born.
Big salute to you. Big salute to the big brother, Dougie Fresh. He's definitely a pioneer, someone I grew up around and definitely influenced what I do. How would you describe your sound and style to someone hearing you for the first time?
I got a very unique voice, and my sound is very clear and it's original. I don't try to copy anybody's style or anything that's trending out already. I'm more of an original person that does music based off my life experiences and my feelings, dealing with my life or my medical issues.
Okay. What does the name Gleamz mean, and how did you come up with it?
A Gleamz it means to shine, and it's definitely like a glimmer, a diamond in the rough, and that's what I consider myself. Being I come from a big city, so Gleamz is someone that's shining when it's real dark outside.
I like that. What project or song are you currently promoting with Upfront?
Yes, up front, I have a record. We have a record now as a group, and it's called Stand Up, Speak Out. And it's going to be debuted April 26th, the video, and it will be streaming on all platforms online. And it's basically about self-awareness and independence of fighting for what's going on today. No AI music, like everything is sounding like it's so computerized. Nobody wants to be original or speak any positive actions in music. So this is kind of like bothering and shaking up some demons here, because a lot of people is used to hearing the music that rap will provide, and it's like it's like just up tempo bouncing and party and probably has vulgar language or maybe even curses.
Yeah.
But this is a straight, no cursing, straight positive message on how we need to self-independence on our music and be original. And that's what we blessing the world with up front.
So, do you not like AI music, or what are your feelings on how they're creating AI music?
No, AI music is it's out there for everyone to explore. So I don't have nothing against it, but the originality is what we bring into the table of just us having our own voice and our own voice being standing for something and our rights as humans, you know, and civil rights of peace, basically.
Right. I love that. What's your creative process like? Do you write first or you build the beat first?
I keep writing in my head wherever I'm at. So it could be random thoughts. I could be in a restaurant or I can be on a bus and I'm going to come up with something. But I like to put it down in the studio. I like to actually write my music before I, I actually record it because I don't like to
Okay.
freestyle on music.
Okay, Gregory, you are so funny. Just your personality, the way you pointing at the shirt, and you're not even saying anything, but you kind of have me cracking up over here. I'm like, I can't wait to get to you. Your personality is funny already.
I'm listening
So,
to Gleamz
Gleams,
talk, and I'm thinking to myself how lucky I am to be a part of this. Actually, that's what's going on for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
so
This is
Gleams,
the
who
first
are
time we're
some
on the same
artists that,
stage.
oh, this time, right? But it's coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Gleams, what are some artists that influenced your music career?
Been influenced by the show actually. So Dougie was one of the influencers that showed us how to actually perform on stage and control the crowd. So that's a good thing coming from that perspective. But as far as lyrics and music, I'll listen to all the greats, Rakim down to the Jay-Z's and the Little Uzis that's out now. But
Okay.
my lane is more on a positive streak. I like I like Common, I like the Roots. Different people that speak on a message more than just making the music for the entertainment.
Do you know who is the first artist in hip hop to use the word little in their name?
That's a good question.
How
But I
about
would
you,
say
Gregory?
I don't know. I would have to guess, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that one.
It's a fun fact, and I've been spreading this question around in its hip hop history. Below Rodney
Came up from
C,
Little Wayne. That was my first one.
That was mine too.
well,
Yeah.
Lil Rodney C from Funky 4 plus one more was the
Okay.
first uh, MC to ever get a record deal out of the Bronx. They were, really the pioneers, the real pioneers of hip hop and where it started from. They had the first record deal in like 1973, 1974. Yeah, that's
Mm.
just a fun fact. So, Gleams, where can people find your music and follow you?
Yeah, I do have an Instagram page. My music is on there, and my music is on Apple Music and Spotify, streaming everywhere. If you type the name Gleamz, GLEAMZ, that's underscore SOG is my Instagram. If they could follow my Instagram page, it'll lead them right to my links of my music is on there, all on Apple Music, my album, Diamond in the Rough.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. So, I got a couple of fun questions for you. Studio or stage?
I like studio,
New York City or LA?
New York.
Favorite artist of all time?
Favorite artist of all time, I'm gonna pick Biggie Smalls.
I know these are really hard questions, because this is not anything thought. So, if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive, I'll probably pick Michael Jackson.
That's a good one. What's one song you wish you wrote?
One song I wish I wrote was, that's a good one. That's a good, see that? You got me
I
on that one.
love this. I
You got
love
me on
this.
that one. But one song I wish I wrote, I'ma say, I don't know. I'm clueless right now.
Yeah, that's hot. That's
Seems
hot.
like I did
I'm
my
clueless right
job,
now.
you
But
That's an
if
know?
I
original
pick
right
one,
there. That's an original right there.
I'll pick Changes. Tupac Changes.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. So now we're gonna get to my guy Gregory over here, Mr. Gregory Kirschenbaum. I don't know how I got, blessed with the assignment to get to interview you, but we're gonna have fun with it. So Mass Consciousness, UN NGO ambassador, Cultural Heritage Foundation. Can you explain what Mass Consciousness is on the mission behind it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I just want to thank you so much for having me and Gleamz. I got to tell you, man, this was a great interview so far. I'm just thrilled to be here with you, brother. Um,
Thank you. Thank
yeah, the
you.
man could not think of a name of a song that he wish he wrote. That tells me that he's a mad original, and and he's not a wannabe.
Yeah, I don't want to
And like
write
can't
nobody
stand
else's song.
that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I love that. Love that. Um, and I would pick Michael Jackson too. I don't know if you saw my reaction, but that is exactly who I was thinking of
Definitely
if
will
I
take
wanted to
Michael
collaborate with any.
Jackson.
Come on, man, that's Michael. Okay, so we were
Yeah.
outside the
So you're
Apollo
the Michael.
after they killed him, and we were living up in Harlem back in the day, and there must have been, I don't know, 30,000-40,000 of us out there circling around the whole neighborhood, and everybody was just crying and hugging each other. It was wild, but anyway,
That was the
so Mass
worst.
Consciousness. And well, here we are today because, that in some ways influenced why we're here right now. And so,
Right.
you know what I mean? And Mass Consciousness with a K, it's it's a civil rights, it's a First Amendment, it's a due process, it's for the people. It's something that
Mm-hmm.
came out of a collective of doctors and therapists and artists and painters and musicians, and and
Mm-hmm.
and and it's about the Constitution. It's about us in America. It's about the actual fact that we're all here in America, that we come from
Right.
some roots, and that we all are together in a community. And that community can be music, or that community could be New York City. My family's from the Bronx too. My mother grew up on the Grand Concourse. My father grew up on Little Italy over there. And
Wow.
he went to Roosevelt High School. My mother went to Morris High School. And I lived in the Bronx
Huh?
for a few years and had a heart attack. Although, don't make fun of me, I lived in Riverdale. But I did get to
Yeah.
go right across the street with Van Cortlandt Park, and we used to hang out in the park. It was nice. The Bronx runs thick and thin, thick in my blood. We love the Bronx,
Yeah.
and my sister was in a movie with John Leguizamo years ago. Like we represent. So
Mhm.
it could be any
I
community,
love it.
whether. And the other thing is that Gleam said something that was absolutely so precious to me, is that the irony is that I'm a jazz man, actually, and I skewed
Mm,
more jazz and British invasion rock, a lot of that white boy music that would come through. And I used to, and although my sister's black, I grew up in a white community mostly, and so I went jazz
Uh-huh.
and hip hop. Was amazing, but there was a lot of profanity, and there was a lot of degradation to women and
Yeah.
things of that nature, which turned me off, and it
right.
didn't
Yeah.
bring me. And the fact that Gleams is doing something special here, this is such a special opportunity. I'm so grateful to be involved. And they gave me fancy
Yes.
titles, uh, and to be honest, to be very real about this, okay, titles aren't a big deal to me. They push people away a lot of times, So you asked about the United Nations and the NGO. I got a fancy title there too. So I'm involved with a lot of cool
Uh-huh.
things, because I love the mission. You see, the NGO that I'm involved with, World Intangible Cultural Heritage Foundation. It's actually based in New York City. We're right at Rockefeller Center, and I am the U.S. chair of that NGO. But more important than that title is what I actually get to do, which is I get to
Yeah.
mix cultures. I get to
Mm.
invite different cultures from different countries. So even, like, and we work a lot with China. I'm in Chinese
Wow.
medicine, you
Okay.
know, and what happens is we wind up eating. We all wind up eating food together. That's the bottom line of that idea. Ultimately, yeah, I make
Wow.
speeches. We all at the United Nations. We were just there for the Special Council for Women, the 70th session last 2 weeks ago.
Huh?
And a lot of photo ops and a lot of cool things going on with the people that were there. But it's a room filled with powerful businesswomen who come from around the world. And to be candid, that's an opportunity that I couldn't say no to. That gave rise in a lot of ways to Mass
Yeah.
Consciousness, which same deal.
Right.
I have a
Okay.
title. I'm the planetary spokesman and beyond. Because what
So
happens here is
how important is cultural traditions or heritage practices that are at risk of being, what are some of the cultural traditions or heritage practices that are at risk of being lost?
so let's bring it right to what we're doing here, if you don't mind. Like for example, hip hop as a genre, hip hop as an essence would be considered an American cultural intangible cultural heritage. Nowhere else in the world did hip hop come from. And yes, they all took from the Bronx, they all took from LA, but so it's something that is actually you kind of can put your finger on it, but you kind of can't. Intangible cultural heritage. So there's a history of hip hop
Okay.
that comes from America, and jazz comes before that. You know, some might say Michael Jackson himself would be an intangible cultural heritage. The person,
Yes.
you
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
That's a
And
that's a great way to put it into perspective, I would
Right.
say. So how important is cultural preservation in today's fast changing?
to me, I take this very seriously because if you, it's a classic expression. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And so,
Exactly.
cultural heritage means I don't want to say it means everything, because I like to live in the present. Um,
Okay.
but we so often deny where we come from in a lot of ways, like how we in America we have a cultural issue. We're always fighting with each other rather than realizing, that we all have blood. Like I ask this question all the time. You got blood? And everyone's like, mm-hmm. And then I'm like, you come from a mama? And they're like, mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, then you're welcome in my clinic. You know, come to the party, eat something with me. I got iced tea right here. You know what I'm saying? You got blood, you
That's a
got a
good
mama,
one.
you're in.
What role do young people play in protecting cultural heritage?
Wow, that's a great question. I almost want to bounce that with Gleamz and get his 2 cents on this one here because that's a great question.
Right. You said the youth.
Yeah, what role does young people play in protecting cultural heritage?
I mean, it is up to the youth to not be followers and not wanna do the same thing another person is doing. It's up to originality, and it's up to a person that to see someone and be inspired by that, but recreate themselves in their way, and basically protecting what they stand for, not signing anything that they don't know, not
Like
portraying an image that is not them, speaking on, like you said, women and whatever it can be that's like in a negative range, like or whatever they want to say. It is towards that music, but provocative music, but being themselves and knowing that somebody is watching and they could inspire the next generation to do better.
That
And that's
that
what
is
that's
very
what that's what
important.
upfront is about right now.
right.
Upfront is gonna
Okay.
bring to the next generation and show them right now that it's not about following what's out there. It's not about believing that you can't do it, because you can do it if you put your own mind power to it and use your friends in the best positive way you can.
So you're
Sometimes
all
it's the friends
becoming
and family
socially
that need to hold you
responsible.
down. Yes.
So you're
That's
becoming
what it is.
socially responsible and being responsible for your community and what effect you have on your community, what you're displaying to your community. Because I have a
Big
son that's
one.
33 years old, and I thought about it. My son never had a real man as an influence.
Hmm.
The community that we grew up in, he knows drug dealers, he knows killers, he knows gang members, he knows deadbeat dads. He, these are the type of men that were in his community. So for
Mhm.
us to look at each other and say, hey, I want to be like Gleamz, or, I can do certain things because I saw Gleamz do it. And we don't have enough of that. It can't just be Gleamz. It has to
Yeah,
be a community effort. It has to be people that get involved from all different walks of life. And I definitely love what you guys got going on. So back to you, Gregory. How
that's
did you
right.
become involved with international, cultural, and humanitarian?
Again, thanks. That's a great question. The 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 slightly extended story is that about 12 years ago, I had a massive heart attack and died. Came back about 3 minutes later. So I had what's
Wow.
called an NDE, and near death experience. And I wound up going into medicine later in life. And that path brought me to Dr. Ford, who created Mass Consciousness, and also brought me to
Wow.
my Kung Fu master, who was essentially, we call it like my master. He's my residency director. And so I'm in the process of getting my doctorate in Chinese medicine. And
Wow.
well, I'm on the 6-year plan for that. And I also wound up becoming a medical massage therapist along the way. And that's where I met the man who started the NGO with the United Nations. Um, and the two overlap because their offices are only about 30 blocks away from each other in New York, and so,
Ah,
it was really it was
yeah,
really
that's
kinda
right
hot,
next
like,
door, right?
yeah, one minute I'm doing Chinese medicine with this guy, and the next minute I'm doing cranial sacral work and adjusting people's spines with this guy.
So what
And,
has been one of the most impactful projects you've worked on?
one of the most impactful projects I've worked on. Well, I had a different life before the heart attack, before medicine. I'm an artist, and when we first got on the air, you said I might have looked familiar. It might have been because I'm a painter and a sculptor. We got a lot of press after 9/11. We did the men having lunch on the beam that drives around New York City. The
Hmm.
lunchtime atop a skyscraper was based on that famous photograph. The men having lunch on the beam, dangling over New York. That black and white photograph.
yeah, I've seen that before.
We did the statues, and then.
Wow.
So we got a lot of press for that, and, so I would have to say doing a big piece of public art would be perhaps the most significant project I was involved in. Um, but,
Amazing.
it's tough, it's tough. I mean, I had the great honor and privilege of being a young designer, and I got to work with of all the people, I got to work with Kool and the Gang years ago, and,
Wow.
yeah, I met up with JT, and I was such a young designer. Yeah, I'm like, "You look familiar, man. How do I don't know, I didn't recognize him exactly. It was a great story. Uh, I'm the artist. I designed the State of Affairs, the reunion album all those years ago. With the two faces, if you ever seen the State of Affairs album cover. And, I mean, that was pretty up there too. I was a young designer, and I got to meet, music icons like that. But, the biggest projects I was involved with
That's
are definitely
amazing.
art related.
That's good.
Okay, so how can everyday people get involved in cultural preservation or community work?
All right, so that's actually a really deep question, and on the surface, it might be a simple question, but I think it's a complicated answer. Okay, the truth is, everybody shied away from being a public servant because we see these politicians on both sides. Everybody's lying, cheating, and stealing. Um,
Mhm.
Maybe one side's a little more aggressive about it than the other, but we'll leave that alone. And you know, so how do they get involved? Okay, for one thing, I'm a big fan of what Gleamz is doing here, and I keep referring back because he is maybe the only hip hop artist that I can put my finger on right now that does not use profanity in the music.
Right.
And that's an important component because Mozart didn't use profanity in his music, and Tchaikovsky did not. And I'm gonna bring up a guy who I'm hoping to work with in the future, Jacob Collier. I don't know if you all know who Jacob Collier is. He's a young English artist. He's an amazingly talented young man, and he does not use any profanity in the music. And he gets a guy like
Yes.
Quincy Jones and Bobby McFerrin, and they are hugging and embracing. And Bobby McFerrin's conducting while Jacob Collier is playing the piano. Okay, so these kinds of artists, I
Wow.
think Gleamz is in this kind of company right here because, I never heard Bobby McFerrin curse. I never heard Al Jarreau curse, you know?
Right. Right. Right.
I never heard
That's
Michael curse.
definitely
Thank you. Exactly.
yeah.
So this is a big
What
deal.
are some
So
upcoming
how do they get involved? They get involved in a couple of ways. For one, they support
uh
artists who are not using profanity or degrading women. Let's start with that. They buy the album. They
okay.
download the
Okay.
track. Let them download the track.
Okay.
Let them put on their earbuds and let them start singing the song in front of their friends in school, right? Um, let them share the music. Of course, we want everybody to download it, but more important than the profit is the sharing of the thread. The vibe has to permeate, like, so let's start permeating the school. Like when Michael came out with Thriller, we were in, like, I don't know, junior high school or something like that, and the world stopped. Remember, the world stopped. So we want that to
Yes.
happen.
For the premiere of Thriller.
You remember?
And it wasn't like streaming. When something broadcasted on TV, you had to be in front of the TV to see it, and you was never gonna see
Or
it
you was
again.
gonna miss it, right?
And we didn't
And you
know
was
they were
never
gonna
gonna
replay
see
it
it
on
again.
MTV. Yeah. So
No, we
how
did
do we
not
get the
know,
kids
and they
involved?
didn't tell you that.
They didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
So, that was a crazy time because we had to be present. And so I
Yes.
think,
Right.
I think that, by doing music that doesn't have profanity or degrades women is a big, big start. By sharing that is a big, but what you're doing here today for us is actually a big deal. You're sharing it. You're,
Yes.
yeah, you're doing the work. And then, I'm a kung fu guy. We're in Chinese medicine, we're in Chinese kung fu. So we follow a lot
Yes.
of the rules of Bruce Lee. You know,
Okay.
yeah, don't portray evil. Don't
Okay.
act in the footsteps of evil or negativity. Bruce had a thing, you don't put yourself down, not even in jest. Don't put
Right.
yourself down, bring yourself up. Um,
Right.
God bless Chuck Norris. We just lost Chuck. His politics are up for question by a lot of people, but I don't go down that. I care about the purity of the martial art. The Mr. Miyagi
Yes.
concept, if you will.
I
Right.
watched
Right.
a lot of Chuck Norris with my dad.
Right?
He was like the only American kung fu guy for
Mm-hmm.
That's he was the only one that knew how to do it.
Yeah, and it's
So
interesting you said that.
what are some upcoming initiatives or events people should know about?
Well, certainly this Mass Consciousness event that we're doing here in April, that's the number one priority. It's going to be live on
April
stage
26th.
at Henry Street Settlement over there downtown. And for those of people who are watching this that are not from New York City, uh,
Thank you.
yeah, I urge everybody to Google Henry Street Settlement. It's
Everybody should come out.
come on now, right, Gleams? It's an iconic downtown urban legendary spot. Some of the greatest
That's
artists
right.
in the world came through there, and
That's right.
I like to say urban America in New York certainly is. We bow to Henry Street. They have been an amazing influence, and they've embraced us. It was a complicated thing to pull off on our end, and then we're
Mhm.
streaming it also, so this could go around the world.
Yep.
I'm not so
Okay.
technically proficient, so I can't talk about the details of the stream.
Okay,
It's a
so
live stream
Gregory,
show.
what message would you like to leave the world with?
Wow, you do ask some good questions, Goldie. You bad. Yeah, let me tell you something. You bad. Um, all right. So I wish I could influence the world to stop fighting. Okay. Um, the evil in a human heart is the reason, and the jealousy in the human heart is the reason for fighting. And this could be other interviews. This could be books. We can make movies about this. Um,
Right.
you
Let's do
know,
it.
if you just were to stop fighting and listen to each
Right.
other and
Yeah.
eat. If we, when you fight, sometimes I guess you fight with your family at Thanksgiving or something like that. But when are you fighting at the dinner table?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
normally
if you
that's like
eat,
a
if
peaceful
everybody's eating.
time.
Yeah, you got a full belly. You're
Okay, so
happy.
fun. So I have some fun thought questions for you. If you could preserve one tradition forever, what would it be?
If I could preserve one tradition forever, what would it be? God, respect for everybody's grandmother. I mean, don't y'all miss your grandma? I miss my grandmother something fierce.
Yeah,
I
grandmoms
definitely
all
miss my
miss. Damn.
Nana. I definitely miss my Nana.
Man, my mama
What
was
country,
amazing.
what country or culture has inspired you the most?
What country or culture has inspired me the most? Outside of America, outside of the United States?
Wherever you want to go.
Well, I'm gonna say outside of the United States, I'm gonna say China. Yeah.
Amazing.
For as much negative talk in the media that China receives, when you're actually walking the land of China, uh, they love us. With a very close second, I'd have to say I used to live in South Africa. I got to spend a lot of time in Africa, and I mean that changed my life completely for sure. Yeah, I came back from Africa. I must have done 600, 700 paintings. I mean, in general, I'm living in a very Chinese influenced society in my own world, and the food,
Wow.
the music, the dance, the martial arts, the medicine.
Very interesting. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy is like setting your stone of like, that you actually got done something that you wanted to do from when you was put here. Like that's legacy. And actually being happy about the work you put in and left for your family, the mark
And how
that you
about
left
you,
for your family.
Gregory?
Yeah, I got to go back to what Gleamz just said. Family. I think legacy. Yeah, family could be blood or it could be non-blood. Um,
Mhm.
you know, but yeah, legacy is directly, I think, family. But I don't know, Gleams. I mean, honestly, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking to myself, you got this amazing community of artists, right? And you're like, look at your legacy where you come from, and
Right.
a little 2 cents. I'm going to throw in a quick thing. The amazing pianist Teddy Wilson, the jazz man, was the first black musician to play in a white man's band, Benny Goodman. And I was a kid. I was a clarinetist and a pianist.
Mm.
And I never made my living in music, but I had the very, very good fortune and blessings to learn the jazz blues scales from Teddy Wilson's son, Jimmy.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so, in a certain
Wow.
sort of way, yeah, I think that's legacy too,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
It's the legacy they leave behind that continues.
Yeah, and Teddy
That's
was
what
cool.
legacy
He
means
he
to
he
me.
he got remarried and he had 2 kids and they went to my high school. That's what are the odds?
Right. That's amazing. So,
Sharing
uh,
experiences and memories is the best thing ever.
Right.
so Gregory, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Oh my God, that's a great question. If I could have dinner with any historical figure,
Yeah.
all right, just give me a quick second to think about this.
Okay, so how about you, Glean? Too.
Yeah.
If I could have dinner with any human
Historical figure. Yeah.
historical figure
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
alive.
No, they don't have to be alive. Most historical figures are not alive.
You dead or alive?
He's talking about like
They don't make you a historical figure till you do.
Fair enough.
that's funny. Yo,
It's
you're
true.
right about that. All right. So if I was, I mean, I don't know who is historic. Probably Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. How
I'll
about
pick
you,
Julius
Gregory?
Caesar.
I mean, that's a tough question, you know? I got 2. Can I give you 2 answers? I'm a big Ben
Yeah.
Franklin guy, you know? Um,
Okay,
Mm.
okay.
yeah, I like Ben Franklin,
I like
and,
Ben Franklin.
I'm a big Moses guy, man. I like Moses. I wanna sit down and eat some bread with bread with Moses because he wasn't allowed to have no bread in the desert. I think we lost it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's definitely a good one. So these last questions, and we're gonna wrap this up for both of you guys. Okay, Gleams, you first. What do you want people to remember most about you and your work?
That I put my all into it, that I really spoke from the heart when I wrote down every lyric that I ever spoke out my mouth. And I think that people should know that I intend to make others smile. And that's my only mission, is to put smiles on faces.
Okay, so how about you, Gregory?
Well, I will say, Gleams, you made the both of us smile during this interview plenty, so that's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Uh,
Thank you. I
you
had
know,
a
I got
great
all wrapped
time.
up in his answer. What's the exact question again?
What do you want people to remember most
Oh, do you
about
remember?
you and your work?
Well, I gotta say, I think of myself as a person who's all heart, you know? I mean, I do a lot of intellectual work, with medicine and all that, but I'm all heart, you know? And so I want
Okay,
I want people to remember that I did everything with a loving heart.
I love that. I love that.
I like
Okay,
that too.
so what's next for you this year, Gregory?
Well, I got a couple of trips scheduled back to the United Nations. We got some meetings to deal with for global health. Uh, we're part of
Okay.
the agenda. We're number 3 on the global agenda of the United Nations there for health and wellness. I'm supposed to go back to China either in October or something. We're developing a program there so that all the people from around the world. We're developing 14 acres, and it's a building. We're trying to design a
Wow.
building, complex of for cultural heritage. So all
Hmm.
the countries can send their representatives and business people and tourists also.
Congratulations.
So that's high up on the list. And then, of
Amazing.
course, Mass Consciousness is high up on my list too, because this is true. We didn't really talk about it by name so much here because of what we got into here. But Mass Consciousness is truly a special focus because every one of us has blood and comes from a mama. And so if you don't
Right. Right.
align with an awareness of life and an awareness as an American, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, you're an American,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So
So
and we got God. We got God and we got government, and you gotta figure out that balance
that's the
again.
most important part.
Yeah.
So so for the mass consciousness and the event that's coming up on April 26th, how do people get tickets? Do they go on the website? How do they follow the organization? Tell us how people can participate.
Well, yeah, we do have a website service on Mass Consciousness under Engage Now on TikTok. We have Instagram that we're promoting platforms where they can go to the link in the bio and get the tickets from there. I'm not sure if you could maybe order them at the Abron Center, but if you
Think
was to
so, yeah.
follow the page, you'll be guiding them everybody to where they can get the tickets at.
Please,
That's
they can go on the
amazing.
April
That's
website.
amazing.
26th. Yeah, it's on the website, Mass
Okay.
Consciousness website. It works, word of mouth works
Word of
better
mouth
than
works
anything.
better than anything.
Yeah, it's like when you see a friend, tell a friend, write a
Tell a friend.
message.
Yeah.
You could text, send a blast text to everybody and just annoy them and let them know that them tickets are on sale.
you know, you opened up an opportunity for the two of us to come and talk, and really, hopefully, this does, like Gleamz just said, spread out and mass blitz it out there. But you know, for anybody who does see this, if they're not really sure what's going on here, this is a concert that's going to be fun. This is a show
Yeah.
that's like alive. You know what I'm saying? This is a place where people are going to have respect. They're going to show respect. They're going to feel respected. And you know, this is something that's really missing, you know, in any gathering today. It's everybody's fighting all the time, you know, just and this is not what's gonna, you know, they're gonna have fun here.
You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be in New York, but I definitely support it. And I do know that Lady Slim, I'm a big fan and big supporter of Lady Slim.
Miss Goldie, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You
Yeah.
led such a beautiful interview
Thank you
for us
so
today.
much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the
Thank you.
team.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Greg. You the man.
You're the man.
Thanks for watching Worldwide Entertainment TV. Don't forget to subscribe and watch more videos right here.